seriously cause problems, and that is, I don't know if I can get to it on camera. Can I just see it? Yes, I can just see it perhaps there. Can you see these terminals here? This is the driver transistor, emitter, collector and base, and then this pad here, this other pad, is a special pad for the bias diode. One connection there and one connection here on ground earth, emitter connection, and the bias diode is disconnected. It's sat floating in mid-air. Now what will that do? Well, that may damage the transistor depending how the last owner did whatever he did with it, and it also will make the radio sound absolutely atrocious on SSB if it does TX at all. Okay, now as you can see, I haven't put any power to it. Also, I've noticed here, look, can you see these front panel switches? High and low, UK and normal, etc. Well, just look at the blowtorch soldering around here. Can you see this? 99% of the problems when you're fixing CB radio, folks, are always what someone's done. I'm sorry to say, we all should be doing repairs the best we possibly can, and if that's as best you can solder whoever's done that, you need to learn a bit more on scrap radios. Start getting a scrap radio that's absolutely knackered, and start just soldering stuff in and out until you can get stuff where you can't tell you've been. And I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to tidy all that up, right? Yeah, I can't put power to it while there's big massive frayed wires like that jumping across here, there and everywhere. I can't, you know what I mean? The lad I got it off, oh, lights up, I don't care whether it lights up, but I ain't putting power to it when it's like that, okay? Oh, sorry. So your first job, in my opinion, is to first get it all tidied up a little bit. So the front's going to come off next, and that's because I've noticed that, I've noticed, trap my finger in there, I've noticed that this control here has had some blowtorch solder. Is it the RF gain or something here? There's quite a bit of blowtorch here, and this RF SWR tape, it'll all want sorting out. So I'm now going to whip the lid off. The front off. That might have made a good 10-minute video. Let's see what we're like in time, folks. I've just pulled them wires apart there at the front. They're all connected to where they should be connected. It's just that the blowtorch soldering is really bad. But for now, they should be doing the job. So I'll put them there and just moved them apart a little bit more, and so I'm happy with them. Okay, so now the next thing to do is, because I know that one of these bias diode connections right down here is not connected right, I'm not going to run the PA strip, and I'm not going to run the PA strip because whoever soldered them trannies in, it's not very good soldering, so the chances of them two transistors either not even working right or shorts or out like that, I'd just rather not put power to it at the moment. Removing the bias board is robbing the TX strip, the driver there in the corner and the final there, of any collector supply. So just by removing that bias board there, I'm stopping them getting any 14 volt supply, 13.8 volt supply. Okay, so if there is anything seriously in there, we ain't going to be smoking. And also you need to wake the radio up on a current power supply, current load power supply, where I can set the amount of current that I'm going to allow to go to the species. Okay, we're not too far away, but I know that this coil's wrong, so there's just no point, in my opinion, in powering the radio up with that coil in. I also know that that diode that's not connected, as far as I understand now, you see, you don't work on stock 9 FDXs every day, but I've worked on loads of them. But as far as I'm aware, that diode that were down there is actually the active device of the VCO. It is actually the VCO along with this transformer here and 600 other parts. So, and this coil needs to be changed, folks. It needs the right coil in, making sure that diode is the right diode and working, and then connected back up as it should be. There's no point in putting power to it right now for that reason, because it'll just come on, and you want me to put power to it, don't you? Alright, just hang on a minute. Okay, so I've decided to power it up, but I wouldn't have normally powered it up. I'm only doing it for you. I wouldn't normally power it up at this stage, right? I'd be quite convinced I'd just go straight ahead and carry on. I'd just change this VCO, right? Anyway, I've set the power supply to 9 volt. Why 9 volt? Well, I've set it to 9 volt because the main supply as it comes into a radio, the high voltage, i.e. the 13.8, drives the audio amplifier and this main regulator here and all this final strip, and all the rest of it runs on about 8.5 volts, about 8.4 volts, 8.2 volts, believe it or not. So if I just tell power supply just to dial in about 9 volts, half an amp, about 500 milliamp, right? Anything more than that, it'll be shutting down, well, that power supply. And because by the way, I've connected a look at the blowtorch soldering at the end of there, look at that on wires. Anyway, just leave them apart, right, this internal speaker, and I've still plugged in an external speaker, and the reason for that is because we need AF dissipation as well as TX dissipation. In other words, this audio amplifier has got to have something to work into, whether the radio's working or not. Still wants its impedance load connected across it, right? No need for an antenna, receiver, there's no need for any test equipment up and running, because at this stage I just want to hear it turn on and have a look around with a voltmeter. Okay, so PSU's up and running. I'm going to allow, this has got 2 fuses, negative and positive, they're very low, so I now put power to the radio and now what's happened there. Oh, I bet you're thinking, well, you haven't turned it on. Well, I've done that for a reason, folks. Just by doing that, this capacitor here has been got voltage across it. It will have very soon. Okay, now I don't hear no AF. Got a standard mic on him. Oh, I hear that click, but I don't see TX light. I know why I don't see TX light, folks, because there's no VCO up and running. Look, we've got 9 volts. When I'm in TX, it just goes to 300 milliamp, of course. That's 250 mil, roughly. 300 mil. But the radio is lighting up reasonably well, apart from just a bit dim. As I with the channel selector round, I don't see it creating any high current or out. Moving band switch around, moving mode switch. Don't hear it making any sound changes. Volume's up full. It's an upset animal, isn't it, folks? I love them when they're upset, folks. I love them. Right, so let's give it some supply, watching the current all the time. Oh, that's lovely, that. Ah, that's lovely, that. Get it right up to 14. That's lovely, that, folks. 14 for easy voltage reckoning, by the way. That's lovely, that. Less than 200 milliamp. I can tell you, folks, that if this radio were running in its receiver, it'd be about 3,500 milliamp. So you can see there, it's not running. There's a lot in the radio that's not up and running. Just by, I can tell by, it's only doing 196 milliamp. A lot brighter now. TXRX still sits at right voltage, and 300 mil, just 60 mil more or something. That's good, that. That's good, that's, no, it's a good sign, folks. Now then, I can tell you, what was that? What switch is that switch at the end? That's supposed to be noise blanker, yeah, so. Now that does some of that. UK are normal, but it's not drawing any massive current. 300 mil, 260. Well, what that'll be doing will be switching this board in here, and we're seeing this board getting powered up here. That's what we're seeing, and some binary changes. But it don't come over excessive. 14 volt, 300 milliamp. That's okay, right? That's okay. So now I definitely want to be looking at this, folks, and that's why you see such a dead. That's why you see it like that, folks. It's because there's no VFO, there's no VCO. no VFO, no VCO, no lock detector, no capture. So what we'll be doing